I wrote a novel! I should practice these things beforehand. I was supposed to swing around, but that's alright. Follow me on my journey. Alright, let's get started with the first episode, and I'm excited about this, of A Writer's Journey, where I'm going to be talking about my journey in terms of how my novel developed and how I ended up with getting it published, which hasn't happened yet, but hopefully well before I'm done. So I'll have some place to finish this in a good way. So let me begin by introducing myself. My name's Rick Spillman. I have a PhD in electrical engineering. I have taught computer science and computer engineering for over 30 years, worked in industry for a few years. I've written a lot of stuff, all of it nonfiction, research articles, successful grant proposals, 2 textbooks, and they've all done fairly well. And then I've written some nonfiction stuff. I wrote, my first piece of nonfiction was a book called The Passion of Job, which I self-published, and it's not very good. What can I say? First book, self-published. The second book is I'm kind of proud of, still sort of self-published, one of those sort of gray area deals, called Do What Jesus Did. But those are nonfiction. And like I think you are, I've always had a fiction book in me. A piece of fiction that I wanted to write, a world I wanted to create, characters I wanted to explore, a story I wanted to tell. And I waited on it, I sat on it until I retired. But then I decided it was time to change from nonfiction to fiction, to do what was in my heart, to sit down and write it and let it pour out. So this is what this whole series of videos is about. It's about how I went from my initial drive to do this to a final version. And I'll take you along in that journey and hopefully inspire you to take that journey yourself, or to pick it up where you last left off, or whatever. And hopefully you can learn from both my mistakes, which I'll talk about, and the things I did right. So let me start off with this. Any good novel begins with an idea. And in my case, it was an idea that burned in my heart for a long time before I started to write it. And my idea was expressed in terms of a question. And the question I asked was, what if Lazarus didn't die a second time? And that question is sort of, rolled around in my head for a long time. I always thought it'd be a neat thing to write a story about. And actually it has some basis, in potential basis in truth, because in Hebrews it says it's appointed to man to die once, and Lazarus has already died. In fact, all the people that God has raised from the dead, from Lazarus on, all had died once, so they're not going to die a second time perhaps. So that was the idea. I took that idea and I started to run with it and build a world with it. And that's where you should start. Have an idea that, like me, eats at your heart, an idea that you want to explore, that you're interested in. Because if you're not interested in, you're not going to devote a couple of years of your life trying to write it. So start there. Start with an idea. And I'll talk about what to do with that idea in the next video next week. And if you like this, click on like. Certainly, subscribe if you want to keep up to date on these things, these videos as they go along. And make a comment. Tell me about your ideas. Tell me what you would like to have me tell you about what I'm doing and my journey. Or tell me where you are in your journey. We can make this sort of a community where we share not only back and forth between you and me, but with others who are watching this thing as well. So subscribe, like, comment. And I'll leave you with this. Have fun writing.